evening, everybody. This is Bob Macedonia. We're here Tuesday night, 6 p.m. on 103.9 LI News Radio. This is Street Legal. I'm here with my co-host, Link, as I am with every Tuesday night.
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be with y'all. Good to have y'all with us.
And welcome. But the weather's getting a little nicer. Spring is in the air.
Yes, sir.
And you know what happens, Link? When spring's in the air, people hit outside. You know what happens? People get outside.
They start getting half naked.
And then they start getting in trouble. The more times people are on the street, the more times people are out there getting in trouble. But Link, we have a new sponsor tonight. It is this next segment is sponsored by Suffolk Mediation Center, the best choice for effective, immediate solutions to all your legal problems: divorce, child support, custody, business disputes, estate, and probate matters. You can count on Suffolk Mediation Center to guide you to a peaceful and affordable resolution. Call us today to solve your problems. 631-833-0000. Mediate, don't litigate.
Mediate, do not litigate.
Okay, that's so Link. We have
glad to have them as a sponsor too, man.
Yeah, we had last Friday night for our listeners out there, our Facebook crew out there. We had a what they call a men's talk too. It was the second one we hosted down in Wyandanch, at Spin the Yard. And, we had a distinguished panel of guests that were there. We had representatives from the DA's office. We had Chief Assistant Alan Bodie. We had Judge Camacho from Family Court, the Supreme Court judge. He sat in the Supreme Court, and from New York City all the way out to Suffolk, and he handles the JD part.
Library president. JD Thomas came out.
We had the councilman for the district, or the legislator for the district.
Jason Richburg came out. We had the assistant Suffolk district attorney came out.
Yeah, Alan Bodie was there, chief assistant.
A liaison from Ray Tierney's office to from the streets to his office, direct liaison. I think her name was why can't I remember her name? I forget, but she came out and she was representing for Ray Tierney's office as well. So
there was a guest
Kimmy Kim, that was her name, Kimmy Kim.
And Link, there was a guest that I met for the first time tonight, a gentleman named Jeff Ball, Ball.
Jeff, amazing, right?
We're gonna have Jeff on. He's gonna be our guest next week. But Jeff's story, honestly, is one that really needs to be put out there. We'll have him on next week, a guest and live call-ins on that. Jeff did 22 years in prison. Okay, it did his time, and most people that want to say, prison. What do you come out? And what are you going to do with your life? But Jeff's going to tell his story next week. I'm just going to give you a little hint on it. Jeff is due to graduate the top of his class at Stony Brook University next month.
Magna cum laude.
The top of his class. Now, so those of you out there thinking, if God forbid you mess up, you went to jail, what is my life back when I get back? You have to decide what your life's going to be like when you get back.
Yeah, and he did this. He did this in 5 years. And he did this under the tutelage of Judge Camacho.
Correct.
Who I didn't even know had an outreach program where he helps people who have been convicted and have served time in prison, helps them to put back their life like almost in a much better way than what would have happened had he not probably gone into the system. This guy is magna cum laude of like a major college. So
one of the top universities in the state of New York.
Right. That's insane. That's
not easy to get into, let alone graduate the top of your class.
Yeah.
And for a man who spent 22 years in prison, it'd be easy to come up with every excuse on why I can't succeed, why I can't get a job. Yep. But for those of you out there, listen, you show a little motivation, you show a little dedication to bettering yourself, you're going to see how fast people get behind you. No matter what you did in the past, you show that motivation to change. You show you want to be somebody and go do something positive in the world. People are going to line up behind you.
That's very true.
Link, we talk about it often. You're not embarrassed to show it. You've been upstate how many times?
One time for a bid, and then 3 other times on violations.
Okay, so you got prior felonies.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we started the show, we're doing positive reinforcement. You have a program you're doing at Wyandanch High School, which helping the youth out there. We're doing the men's talks and trying to get different groups. We're doing voter registration drives in minority communities, because the more people get active and involved in their communities, the more change you could make with the youth.
Right.
We talked about it, Link, and you had went recently to a school board meeting at a local district.
Yeah.
Okay. How many people attended that?
That one the room was full, but that one was based on trying to see what we were going to do with the superintendent, where they're going to try to out her, renew her contract, whatever was going on. So being that was the first one I ever went to, I thought that's what they looked like. I was like, oh, wow, this is great. A lot of community participation. But then I went to the second one I viewed online, and there was literally one person in the stands with like a bag next to them. There was no community members whatsoever outside of that one person in those seats. So I did get in contact with the school board president, and we talked about it, and what more we could do to fill up the seats at the board meetings, and we'll see how it goes. But I think it really first starts with the community knowing or feeling like they can get involved without there being some kind of repercussion. Because, they were saying like, you get too involved or you start getting too close to anything, they call CPS on you, all kind of discouraging things. A lot of things came out.
There's a lot of protectiveness that goes on in there. These school budgets,
right.
Everybody that's out there, you pay tax dollars. More than 50% of your property tax dollars goes to your local school
67.
district. 67 was why.
Yeah, that's what Jason Richburg told us.
Jason Richburg, the local legislator for that district
right.
over there. And these school budgets are $20, $30, $40 million a year.
Yep.
And nobody's getting involved on how this money is being spent, how the children are being educated, and what's actually going on out there.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, it is crazy. And then the more you research it yourself and the more you start finding out what's going on, the more upsetting it is because you start to feel like, all right, you're not a professional, but if you was to run these numbers, you could do a lot better running these numbers that you're hearing and how they're being applied. So when I see it, it's just like, you have to know better than to utilize it the way you're utilizing it, because you see, one, it doesn't yield any results. Two, it always puts us in a position where Wyandanch always looks like we need this help or we got our hand out. When Wyandanch makes enough money to support itself, it really does. It really does. Like when you get a hold of all these numbers and all these budgets and you see how much money comes in, and then you see how much money comes in as like just assistance, right? On top of these budgets, you see all this money that comes in and you're just like, we shouldn't be in any kind of position except on top of the game. So then you get a TikTok that came out, and it was like, it started with like the worst schools on Long Island, something like that. Wyandanch topped the list, and I was so embarrassed watching this TikTok. And I know it's supposed to be,
but they're also top of the list in state funding.
Right.
So
right.
You say, where's the money going? The reason I believe is if you have a lack of parental involvement, how do they know where the problems are? People on the board are just there to protect themselves, okay? And honestly, they're not really knowing what the problems are in that district unless the people are in that audience saying what the problems are, talking about the problems, and how you can come up with solutions.
Right.
You don't need to go down there one meeting and say, blah, 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 this is the problem, and then never show up again.
That's it. And then, if they do show up again, then they want to say this is the problems. That's why I really want to shout out Jared Nixon and everybody involved with Men's Talk this time, because this one was really solution-based.
Correct.
And I think people walked away with assignments, and even the following day, right? Like the Wyandanch Park was a little bit messy. I'm gonna say a little bit messy because that's as far as I want to go. And the way the community jumped to it. So shout out to Freedom, shout out to Robbie, shout out to everybody who had involvement in getting that park back together so we could look presentable. Because people riding past that park, they see us. That's what they think of us. And even though we know our park don't usually look like that, it's alarming when it does. So I'm glad for everybody that came out. And what you got, bro?
What do we got? We got a lot of other things going on. The recent state voted unanimously to ban the use of Native American names and mascots and imagery.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of really, I don't know how I feel about that. It never offended me, I guess, because I'm not an American Indian or a mascot. But I never thought calling someone, the Chiefs or the Wyandanch Indians or the Wyandanch. What's Wyandanch mascot?
It's an Indian.
Okay. So, but
a warrior.
I don't know why that's offensive. Like, I really never, I don't understand that. I know it's politically correct these days, unanimously voted, in Albany, but I don't understand.
I think it's bigger than being politically correct. All right, just imagine, right? And this is crazy, but just imagine being the natives, right, of this land. This land was completely taken. You were killed by the hundreds of millions. You don't exist almost anywhere anymore. Yeah. And to make it matters worse, like, they take what's natively yours and make money off of it to no profit for you whatsoever, right? So it's like you get called an Indian, right? And that's crazy because you're not an Indian. You're a Native American. You got nothing to do with India. So to be called that and then to have that like be the national thing that you're called, that's a little bit insanity. And then they don't profit from it. So for you to change your hardwood floors, for you to change your jersey and maybe a couple of rafters in your ceiling shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Are there really people out there that are offended by that? In all honesty, are there really?
Yeah, I would be offended if I was a Native American. I would absolutely be offended. Like, you got a bunch of white men wearing shirts with Native Americans on it, and they profiteering from it, and they're not sharing it with your community. So yes. But
just going across the whole country. You have professional sports teams now changing their names. Also, you
no
longer have the Cleveland Indians. You no longer have the Washington Redskins.
Right, but why not?
The Atlanta Braves. What's wrong with calling the Atlanta Braves?
Nothing, but it's when you got the Indian head on the front of your jersey that it changes everything. You got the tomahawk with the Indian head, that changes things. And because you're using the likeness of
Don't
other people.
we have more pressing problems in this country than worrying about what a mascot's called?
Yeah, we absolutely do.
We have people starving in the streets.
Right.
We have, kids going, to school with lack of supplies and lack of education going on. And we're worried, honestly, we're voting unanimously to ban the name of an Indian.
Right. Well, because
why can't we get unanimously together and start addressing some of the problems that are affecting us out there? Honestly.
Well, I believe that's what everybody's pretty much doing now, right? But you can't say, okay, well, this isn't worth anything or this isn't worth anything, because it affects more than just you, right? You're talking about Native Americans, and so that's like saying since they're offended by it, they shouldn't have a voice, and we don't have a position we could take on that. We can't say who can and can't have a voice, especially if they were native to the land before any of us got here. But I want to introduce our special guest. Tone, you might want to come up to the mic, face the mic to you and all that. Yeah. Want to let everybody know what you got. Oh yeah.
You need headphones.
You need the headphones.
We got
Get him a set of headphones.
Go ahead, Link. Bring him up. We have a guest tonight. I'll let you do the intro, and then we'll.
Yeah, this is. I'm gonna just tell y'all who he is, and he's gonna tell y'all what he represents and what he's into, and we'll go from there. All right, so Tone, let them know what it is that you represent, and I'm gonna let them know a little bit more about what we about to get into.
My name is Jose Farina. We have the Black Gold Entertainment going on.
Right.
I had a record label. It's called Baby J.
Okay.
I have a record label called Baby J Entertainment, and basically what we're trying to do is it gives back to the community, trying to help the kids to basically have something to do after school, look forward to something to do, and try to change everything's going on the streets and everything's going bad, trying to make it to something positive.
Yeah, because when you have lack of opportunity, lack of events, or lack of structure for kids to do after school, hanging around,
all that free time,
you get in trouble.
You get a bunch of free time.
Correct.
And this speaking to him about what he wanted to do for an after school event, that was we missing that. We missing that. When I was a kid, we had the Wyandanch Rec Center. We could go there. We could play foosball. We could play pool. We could play. I can't remember if we was. I think in the beginning we was able to play pool. A few other games that we sit there, put quarters into Pac-Man, whatever you was gonna do, but you wasn't running around in the street. And we completely and totally don't have anything like that. So I think what me and you sat down and came up with is perfect. And I want to tell y'all this idea is powered by Heath Broughton. I'm not doing any idea stealing. This is Heath's idea. I want to put that out there. Heath connected me and Tone and said what he was looking forward to and left it to me and Tone to build it. So me and Tone have been in the process of that. And what this is it is a recording studio located in Deer Park, right across the street from the train station. I'll let you tell them the name of the building right now, but we're probably going to be making a move soon. But I'll let you tell them how to find the location.
Right now we are located at Social Media House, as across the street from Deer Park train station. That's where we have the Baby J Entertainment studio. And like he was saying, basically the way I feel is the youth nowadays has a lot of potential, but the problem is they're not being guided the right way. So it's being misused, and that's why we're having the problems that we have with everything going on. So by us starting the program and doing that, we can bring that and get the kids something to look for from. They can learn how to engineer, they can learn how to produce, they can learn how to record, edit it. We can give you everything that you need. So basically give them something to look forward to.
Right.
Yeah, so there's kids that are out there. You don't need to go on, get a 4-year college degree just to come up with a career in this world. So you don't have to feel like that pressure. If I don't go to college, I'm not going to be able to earn a living. We have other sponsors that also have the Mercedes dealership, the car dealerships.
A lot of opportunities.
Opportunities are out there.
We got to get them to the kids because they are there.
And they're out there. They just need to be.
Yeah, people have to know about it.
Information needs to be given to them.
Yeah, people have to know about it. And so, in totality, and this makes me very proud to say this, so Tone, I'm glad that you're here. So when we announce this, is what we're doing is we're trying to do what actually some acting member of the board of the Wyandanch Library actually put me on to, with Jaron Nixon, put me on to Department of Labor as you do an earn to learn, right? Mm-hmm. Where the kids get paid for attending the program. And I think like that really solves a lot of the problems because that's a kid's nightmare, right? To see every other kid around him flourishing, and he is stuck like with the same Jordans from the beginning of the year. And so this is a way to put money in the kids' pockets while teaching them things that's going to be necessary for them. Like we also going to be doing that with the programs that Jaron is implementing. We're going to get Department of Labor involved on every level so that we get these kids money for what it is that they're learning. You know what I mean? And I think like that's one of the ways you conquer these kids' attention spans. Because how do you pay attention when you broke?
That's true. And just for our listeners out there, we're not limiting this. Street Legal is not limiting this to the wine dance community. We know there's other communities in the Suffolk County area or even our listening audience that have issues that go on in their areas. 631-451-1039. Call in. Tell us what's going on in your community. We'll get out there. We'll get involved. We'll get active because these programs are out there. What we're trying to do what Street Legal is trying to do in a coordination with a bunch of other groups, we're trying to stop that pipeline to prison link.
Yeah, absolutely.
The minority communities and the underserved communities, there's too much of, you get out of high school, even if you get out of high school, before you hit 20 years old, you've been upstate 2-3 years already.
Right.
And your life is thrown away. Like, we need to stop that pipipeline to prison in all these communities out here.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we're throwing away tomorrow's generation. We're throwing away our
future.
leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah, the worst part is when you watch the people who's supposed to be in charge of that participate in it, right, for their own financial greed. And, for lack of full information is the only reason why I'm not really like getting crazy right now with the information that I do have, because I really want to solidify it with a lot more information. But we got to get the problems out of the way. It's not just about creating new opportunities. It's about getting the people who won't allow these opportunities to flourish out of the way.
That's good. Link, the opportunities are there. It's a matter of getting the message out to the youth, because the opportunities are there, the funding's there, the government grants are there. It's a matter of getting that information into the right hands so people are not,
misusing it, and guiding the kids the wrong way and taking the wrong path.
They're not, just enriching themselves on it, because that's often goes on with a lot of these grants. They're going into a small amount of the hands and not reaching where they really should reach.
Of course not, because if you think about it, this is the first year that we've haven't been in a deficit, but actually had a surplus, right? Yeah. Crazy that we had to have oversight for that. But even aside from that, we have no buses. Yeah. I grew up with Wyandanch having a bus yard and buses that took us to and fro, not just school, but trips and everything else. We've outsourced our transportation. I think that is insane. Then,
sometimes that's cost beneficial. So that's
all right. Oh, good. I'm glad you said that. Let's run some numbers. Okay, it costs us $3 million a year to bus our kids to and fro, right, and to wherever else. That's how much money we would save if we had our own buses, right? It costs us $9 million to provide a fleet. Again, a second fleet will cost us $9 million. So in 3 years, we will have already that have paid for itself. Now, if you go into a fourth year, a fifth year, and a sixth year, you go from that $9 million to $12 million to $15 million, right, to $18 million. So wouldn't it be more cost effective to just buy the buses right now?
I don't know the numbers, but a lot of that breaks down,
them.
With the cost of the maintenance and all that. It's a lot that goes with busing.
Yeah, I'm talking about brand new, right? And we have a bus repair garage, and we really need to do. We have to create jobs in Wyandanch. We need jobs.
It boils down to go to the school board meetings. All that stuff, all that budgets are addressed at the school board meetings.
Absolutely.
So that's really where that's addressed. Yeah. People don't go there. It's going to go one way. You're going to get a 5-0 vote because no one's there to oppose it.
Yo, when I heard that, it was like 5-0-0, 5-0-0. That was crazy. And, you really can't do much because you commenting online asking them, like, can you itemize this budget spending? Can you tell us how much is being spent for what? And they just ignore you, right? So it's like you don't even have... You really got to break through that because they got a barrier there that won't let you do the work. And so you really got to break through that, and you can't depend on them to let you do it. You have to work. Persistence. That's
consistency.
You got to push your own agenda.
You got to be consistent on what you want, and like that,
you get a little move behind you. People are going to start following. Once you get 1 step, 2 steps, you're going to start seeing people that
pick up momentum.
Pick up momentum. Exactly. This is Street Legal. We're here every Tuesday night on 103.9 LI News Radio at 6 p.m., 6 to 7 p.m. This is Bob Mastonio from Mastonio and Duncan, 126 Carlton Avenue, Islip Terrace, 631-582-3232. Remember, you want to stay free.
You got to call BOB.
If you want to get free.
You still got to call BOB.
BOB and PTG. We'll be right back after a short commercial break. Thank you.
Y'all for joining us.
And we are back. This is Bob Mastonia with Street Legal. We have our sponsor link. 2 sessions they sponsored. They come up with some big bucks tonight. Suffolk Mediation Center, the best choice for effective, immediate solutions to all your legal problems. Divorce, child support, custody, business disputes, estate, and probate matters. You can count on Suffolk Mediation Center to guide you to a peaceful and affordable resolution. Mediate, don't litigate. We have offices conveniently located in eastern western Suffolk, 631-833-0000.
Right.
The link. We're back. The topic of tonight's show, and we have a guest tonight, is to stop that pipeline to prison in these communities.
Right.
A lot of the underserved, the minority communities, there's too much lack of role models, lack of opportunity, lack of guidance.
Right.
The children are just growing up, and it's almost like we had the men's talk the other night in Wyandanch. And one of the gentlemen, one of the guests in the audience had said, people are having parties, cheering and saluting to people coming back from upstate jail sentences.
Right.
And there was recently a graduate from Wyandanch High School that went to Harvard University and graduated. Okay? Why isn't that guy celebrated? Or that woman? I don't know whether it was a male or female, so I don't want to mislead anybody. How come that person is not having a party and that guy's not saluted, that lady's not saluted? And we're saluting the people that are coming home from prison, having parties for those people. Where's that mentality? How do we change that? Not only Wyandanch. I'm not picking on Wyandanch. We love Wyandanch, but
well, we have to change what the role models look like. We have to change the people that we idolize, the people that we hold in high regard. We have to change what that looks like, because if we're going to hold the biggest drug dealer in Long Island in high regard, that don't leave room for the man who really achieved it the way he was supposed to. You know what I mean? It just don't. Like, you're an attorney, an accomplished attorney, right? That's like at least
I don't know about accomplished,
6 to 8 years of education outside of high school, right?
7 years.
7 years, right? You got 50 Cent, who went to jail, right? Wrote some music while he was there, came out, put it together with some beats, and when you stand on stage with him, they know him.
Yeah, but like that,
you get what I'm saying?
Is 1 in a million. That's like becoming a professional athlete. There's one Michael Jordan, there's one LeBron James, one Kobe Bryant, one 50 Cent, one JC. Right.
Now, I'm not saying we're not supposed to celebrate him, but look, that's the extent of what we celebrate. We celebrate what's lit.
There are tens of thousands of individuals sitting in jail that write music and never make it. Go ahead.
I feel the reason that's going on is because they don't have the opportunity. They don't have the chance. They don't got the guidance. They don't got the places they can go and learn things like that. Me growing up, we didn't have that. I didn't have access to a studio. I didn't have access to learn how to record. It was something that you had to go out there, get the money, and then after you did that, maybe you have a chance to be in those rooms. So if we want more 50 Cents, we want more Michael Jordans, we got to do more for the youth. We got to give them.
But here's my thing. And I respect them all. I respect 50. I accept Jordan. I accept LeBron, Kobe, rest in peace. We need to really put the people that are the teachers, the lawyers, the doctors, the cops, the working everyday people, because those are the majority of people in America. You're only going to have 150 cents. So I understand the opportunities there, but kids need to not only look up to that 1 in a million shot, they need to like
the people that's there every day. Like there's everyday role models, right? There's store owners, there's business starters, there's even the people with the food trucks. To me, it's somebody to look up to, because they making sure they putting food on their plate. By their rules,
Listen, the janitor in your high school, your school, that man's working 50, 60 hours a week, keeping the school clean to everybody. He's making a great, living, putting in a day's work, honest work, going home, supporting his family. Yeah. That's what's to be respected. Those people are not respected the way they should be.
Well, if you're the 9 to 5, you a cornball.
Well, why? Why is that mentality out there?
I can't explain it, man. I know I grew up with that mentality. Like, I remember my sisters didn't want boys that didn't sell drugs. They just wanted
they want the fast money, they want the gifts, they wanted the jewelry, they wanted the clothes.
They wanted to be in the passenger seat of a dope car, like all of it. So
until that car's getting shot up.
Right. Well, back then, we wasn't that crazy, but they crazy now.
Yeah.
But that was the lit life, the big rims, the loud music, the pretty girl in the passenger seat, like. They said that the other night at the men's talk. I think that it was so nostalgic hearing it that I remember thinking like that backwards, like. I remember when my thinking was backwards, like, the working man was a cornball because you could sit in the streets and make thousands of dollars a day. Why would you go to work for?
Okay, but how much you making when you're doing your 2, 3, 4 year bid?
Nothing, but what it is,
about 40 cents. About 40 cents a day.
That money's going to the lawyer, right? That money's going to the lawyer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you got your family struggling to send your packages, put your commissary in. And then you
make sure you got phone time.
Make sure you got phone time, and and Lincoln, you'll tell us. We had one guest on, and even the phone time. I was recently out to see a client in Yaphank, and the client, a Hispanic gentleman from the Bronx was telling me how the phone time is divided. You got black phone time, Spanish phone time, and the white phone time is last.
And then gang. Then there's gang.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the gang, because it's like the gang got their own phone.
They got their own phone.
They don't want to talk to you about nothing. There's a gang phone. Don't talk to us about it.
So why is that idolized, sensationalized? Why people know more about phone time than knowing about where the studio is they can get some free airtime, where the college, grants are going to be, where the jobs are? People know about phone time in the streets.
Because that's what's in our neighborhood is where we come from. That's all they're talking about. We don't got people into our neighborhood explaining better things and showing us better ways. When we get older, you get to an age because you get tired of struggling and going through what you're going through. Then you start reaching out and getting information yourself, and that's what we're doing. So it's our responsibility for us to bring that back and teach the kids at the right time, so they don't got to go through the struggles we went through and learn the lessons we learned on our own, so they can be better, so we can have a better future.
As we now realizing, you cannot count on the media to do it. You can't, because it used to be the news media, used to be the newspapers. They have an agenda, the political agenda that's so far gone. They don't really care about my family or your family. They want to care about click
The numbers, the stats,
getting
clicks
on a site, selling newspapers, selling airtime. Correct. They don't give.
Every single thing is over sensationalized. Everything is over sensationalized, right? You can't even have. But the lady just got killed going into somebody's driveway that was the wrong driveway.
Yeah,
and not to say that that's not a big deal. That is a big deal.
Huge
right?
deal.
That is a big deal. But for that to make like front page when our currency is becoming devalued and China and Russia are coming together to build a currency that's like going to dominate ours in less than 10 months. That's real news. And I'm not to say like, okay, listen, you get shot going to somebody's driveway. That happened. I'm sorry to hear that. A couple days before that, a black dude got shot going to somebody's driveway to the wrong house picking up some guys. So it happens. You got to, rest in peace to her. I'm sorry that she died. But to me, news is keeping America abreast of what's really going on, not isolating different incidents and then sensationalizing those incidents so that we become distracted by what's really happening.
Correct.
Cash App guy got stabbed up. How?
Yeah.
How do you stab up the Cash App guy?
Because I feel that the news, what they doing nowadays, the news to keep you entertained while real things happen behind doors. Right. And that's what the problem is. It takes for somebody to actually go behind those doors and open that door and let the truth out. But what happens every time you speak the truth? You get shut down.
Correct.
They try to break you down.
Look what they're doing to Trump.
They discredit you. They do all the things. They arrest you. Right? That's my guy, too. I can't believe they're doing that to Trump, man.
What they're doing to Trump, like him or not like him, they are trying to silence Trump because Trump's bringing all these issues to the face, to the head. Have to address him head on. Like he says, they're not coming for me. They're coming for you. I'm just in the way.
Right. Let me ask y'all something, right? I have two questions for both of y'all. What is gender neutral?
Gender neutral?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
You're not supposed to identify as a male or a female.
And so let me ask you, what is non-binary?
Same thing.
So what they're gonna just take all of the words? Because this is my thing, right? If you gay or lesbian, I could really wrap my mind around that a lot more than I could than you just trying to tell me like you're not anything. You know what I mean? Like no matter what my sex organ is, I don't identify as nothing.
You know what's crazy when you say that?
Yeah, I'm neutral.
Because instead of teaching things that we're supposed to learn, like how to open a bank account, how to start a business,
they're teaching this.
Schools are teaching about different beliefs, different likings,
the
when it comes to the
gayness,
the flag, the alphabet, and that is the problem. That we're not sitting there speaking and talking about what really matters. We speaking and talking about what everybody else want to do for the entertainment or feels like people want to hear.
That fake, woke, politically correct talk, man.
Like even in the courthouse, which is supposed to be there for justice.
Yeah.
There's a sign. And next time you're in the courthouse, go out and look to there's a sign outside each bathroom. And I'm going to read it to you. You have the right to use the bathroom that is consistent with your gender identity or gender expression. You cannot be asked to show identification, medical documentation, or any other proof of gender, which means any one of us three gentlemen here can go into the courthouse bathroom, go into the ladies' room, and do whatever you got to do in the ladies' room.
What, unless I got a wig on or something like that. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
And
that is crazy.
They can't ask
you. Even see that somewhere in the courtroom.
That got respected.
But they're more worried about that. When there's a sign outside the bathrooms, they're more worried about that, the state and the government, than they are what kind of justice.
Is that sign outside the bathroom?
It's going inside the rooms.
Then what's going inside those courtrooms and what kind of justice is being done in those courtrooms? They're more worried about that. Link.
And see our courthouse, there's a sign that says that?
I'm going to show you the sign. Show you the sign. This is the sign.
I took a picture of it. Insanity.
That's the sign. Okay, they're more worried about what bathroom
and not
offending somebody.
And that's why it creates the problems for people from our neighborhoods to actually to believe or trust what's going on. In
How
the
did they
courtroom.
get this far?
But they're worried about that as opposed to worrying about the 20% more time that minorities are getting than white people on a similar crimes.
Right.
More worried about that than they are, getting cases resolved in a good, efficient way. Worried about what
are they doing this so we have something to
you have
argue
any
for?
children?
Because this is crazy.
Yeah, I have two. I had a 17-year-old and an 8-year-old kid.
With males, females?
2 boys.
Okay, so let's just imagine you had a daughter. I have 3 daughters, and it's 3 daughters.
There you
So
go, bro.
they let some guy in the courthouse go in there and decide he's going to use the bathroom with my daughter in there. Honestly, you have a problem with that?
Now you're gonna find yourself getting arrested in the courtroom
Because I'm questioning it,
Because
correct?
Questioning it,
Yeah,
correct.
then you're going to get a hate crime.
Then you're going to get a hate crime.
You'll get a hate crime, too.
I'm going to get arrested.
Yeah.
I'm going to get sued. I have a problem with that. And the same thing's going on in schools.
Wow.
Same thing is going on in schools.
Everywhere.
As
I
opposed to teaching
cannot
our
believe
kids.
that agenda got so far that it's in the courthouse.
as
How did that
opposed
happen?
They try to
te-
put it in schools.
It's in schools. It's in schools.
It's in school, but they
That
try to
same
make
son?
it.
The
But
same
a
law.
boy could go
That
in a-
state, any kind of public bathroom.
Institution.
Correct.
So boys go to the bathroom with my daughter, you saying?
If they're identifying as a female,
Yeah.
they could use the female room. Same thing, locker
At
rooms.
schools?
Yeah, public buildings. Yes.
And what is the protocol to be able to identify as a female? Like they filling out paperwork when you just one day you feel like that?
You feeling a little light today? Like you got to tell us something?
That's like how do they just decide like you could just go in the bathroom with my daughter because you say you feel this kind of way today?
I bet you didn't, because you know why? Nobody's at the school board meetings.
Nobody's at the school board meetings.
Like you said, let some male.
But before you even get to the school board meeting, there's all the places should have been stopped and dealt with before you even got that far. Because by the
I
time
can't
you get
believe
to the
this is a
school
real
meetings,
thing.
yeah, like that's crazy that I got to worry about who's walking to the bathroom when I'm trying to take care of business.
Yeah.
Yeah, nature
Especially,
made a
like I
mistake.
said, as a male, we okay. But like you said, you have daughters.
Well, listen,
I think that's a different.
Any one of us going to be able to hold our own. But my 10-year-old daughter, and
Right.
some
Yeah,
guy
that's
is
different.
going to decide he's feeling like a little light on his feet that day and wants to go into the
Want a little-
bathroom.
feeling a little dainty.
I have a problem with that. And I think most Americans,
Yes,
most
sir.
Americans,
I
I
don't
think have
think
a
we
problem with
only
that.
one
I don't
problem with
think
that.
I'm not trying to offend anybody there. Most Americans, I think, have a problem with that. This is a small part of our agenda out there. There's liberal, left wing, wackos that are out there that want to push this. But I don't know. They're more worried about that than the justice going on inside the courtroom.
Yeah.
My question to you is, what do you think we need to do something about that? How can we fix that? How can we handle a problem like that? Especially somebody in your position.
And
What if it went too far already?
what is it? We have, like Link just brought up, the currency. Do you think China? Do you think Russia? Do you think other countries that are looking to surpass us in the
They're laughing.
They don't even entertain stuff like this.
They
I
are
don't think they're wasting
sitting
time
back
joke,
and
bro.
laughing at us,
We're
saying,
a
"This is
joke.
what they're worried about in America." This was we were the top of the world. Everybody idolized us. People still do. We're still the best country in the world. But if we don't start addressing the real problems in this country now and start getting our children, to the point where they can go on to be the next generation of leaders, we're more worried about what I'm identifying as today. Please.
That's it.
I think the problem is
Teaching kindergartners they can have sex changes.
we worry about more what other countries are doing, other people are doing in their own country for years.
Correct.
And that's what happened. We lost touch within ourselves. We were
Correct.
going to be in everybody else's business and the home wasn't running the right way. And now it's a hot mess and now they want to fix it. But by now it's too late. You can't do it. And I think it got too far. So now, even though that's a problem, we can't focus on the problem no more. It's
ladies,
only the solution. What are we going to do to make sure that our generation gets stronger? That our kids or my great-grandkids or my great-granddaughter can walk to a bathroom and feel safe without somebody else working in a different gender.
Correct. We are live. It's 631-451-1039 for any calls want to call in and comment on any of our topics tonight. We got pretty much a free show tonight, so we're free rolling here. We're rolling whatever you want to call in, comment.
This one of my phone ones. 631-451
1039.
1039. Call up, man. Like let us know how you feel about it because this guy just blew my mind when he said a guy who's feeling a little light on his feet today could just go in the bathroom.
And
with
I
my
mean
daughter.
that by no offense. I really don't. I don't. I love everybody, but
Listen, I'm I don't have the same politically correct stance as everybody else. I don't want no guy who's I don't care what you feeling like today. If God gave you what He gave me, I don't want you in the bathroom with my daughter.
like you're gonna go into the ladies' room and drop a deuce next to some lady.
That's something I have to do. If they violate, bro, I'm gonna violate back because that's crazy. Like that's insane. Like I'm not just gonna let y'all. I'm gonna make it so that y'all gonna ban this or y'all outlaw this.
And if you
For
think
real.
about it, even the bathroom is set up the same way. You go to a female's bathroom, you only get to sit down. You go to a male's bathroom, you have things you can use where you stand up.
Right.
That separates us from them.
I read it.
That's for a reason. Keep it that way.
Like I read an article at one of the schools. I don't think it was in New York, but one of the schools where they made them put a tampon machine in the men's room.
Where they gonna bleed from?
Dude, listen, why don't you
Wait a minute.
You sit down and listen to some congressional hearings.
Wait a minute, man.
You listen to some of the...
We're not going there.
Talk about going too far. I don't even want to think about why that might be, because maybe that's for after.
All right, listen, I have
Maybe
no
it's a
idea.
cleanup thing. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Clean up on aisle 2.
Oh,
grab
my
a
God.
tampon. I don't know. I do want to say.
I think we're getting off the topic. Let's go
Yeah, we're
back
getting
to
off
let's get back to that. That's what happens when you get a free fall.
You get a free for all that.
Yeah.
But listen, the topic tonight, let's stop that pipeline to prison in the communities, okay?
Yeah.
People call in any suggestions. We'll come out to your community, voter registration drives, get involved in those school board meetings, but that's what we're here about tonight. Street legal, that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. Because it's about what do we owe to our communities.
Correct.
Right? And it's not about and this is no brag, not a flex, but I could wake up in the morning, walk to the end of my dock, jump on a jet ski and take off. Right?
Yeah.
Now, that is great, but can you really enjoy that when you know how many people cannot do anything close to that? When you know so many people are still in the same situation that you left behind, right? Like, how do you enjoy this now? You know what I mean?
But my thing is, you left it behind, right? Why you left it behind? Because you chose to do something different. You chose to make a difference. And
Right.
even though we want to help the community, if the community itself is not standing up for themselves and want to help themselves, there's nothing you can do. So the same way we are doing our part is for everybody that's listening or everybody who wants to make a difference, you got to make different choices. You want to see a difference in your
Well,
life,
that's
you
part
got to
of it.
move different.
That's part of it. But I'm on this show right now because an opportunity was provided to me. So I'm always going to be opportunity first over everything, because without the opportunity that he provided to me, I'm not gonna say I probably wouldn't know you, but the journey to meet you would have been even longer.
I understand
Yeah,
that, but
right.
the opportunity he gave you, the reason you are here, because
Right.
you chose to take it. You chose to step up and do something
Correct.
about it.
That's
so
true.
in a way, you earned that.
Right.
And that's the problem with
You
people.
did it. You
Most
earned,
of-
you earned my trust, my faith to be here and do this with you. And I'm here because I had an opportunity. I had a great career. I'm very fortunate. People know my story. It was all over the cover of Newsday.
Right.
I've been up to the top, down to the bottom, built myself back up, and I'm not embarrassed, to say that I'm successful again. So I want to give back. I am fortunate in this
Right.
world.
Right.
I want to give back, not just take. You can't just take from the world. You got to give
Correct.
back.
You absolutely
And
have to give back.
Which is why I said, last Friday night was my Friday night. I spent until 10 o'clock at night down in Wyandanch. My family's at home. I
Absolutely.
don't need to be there, but that
Absolutely.
community has been so supportive of me and my career over the years.
Yeah.
I'm going to give back. I'm not just going to take.
The actual families out there,
Yeah.
like even Snoop just came through. Noodles came through just now.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like it's just to see people now in this walk of life, and he like, yo, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to work early in the morning.
Yeah.
That is so dope. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah,
to see that and to know years ago we was all in trouble. We was walking around a dorm trying to figure out like, I hope they don't got hot dogs coming on the food cart. You know what I mean?
And just to shout him out there, we had Harold Bush, was one of the resource managers at JDP.
Right.
We had Judge Jacobs came down. These are people
Yeah,
from the community of
Yeah.
Wyandanch that came back because they want to give back too. They don't need to be there. They're not getting paid to be there. Link, you weren't getting paid to be there.
No. I don't. I make it a point to never accept money for anything that I do. Right? I make it a point, and the reason that
And like, not to leave him out, Devon Tony, very, very, very productive the other night. He had a lot of good
Yes.
things to say. And
Yes,
Devon,
man.
we're proud of you. You come a long way. Keep
Definitely,
going.
definitely.
Keep going.
That guy's gonna be something amazing. I said this years ago. He's gonna be something amazing because I think somebody that fearless cannot be stopped. I don't think you can stop somebody that fearless. Devon
can't.
Tony's an amazing person
When
to
you
me.
focus on your focus, nothing will get on your way.
And we're gonna have a
Yeah.
future guest coming up. Footy. You know Footy very well.
Yeah, that's
Footy's-
my guy, man.
Footy's
That's
written
my
a few
guy.
children's books. Another guy
Yeah.
who did plenty of state prison time, federal prison time.
Yeah.
They come home and give back to the community, not just suck it out.
Yeah. A great father too, man. This guy's
Great father.
Yeah,
Footy.
Yeah, I would call Footy whether or not he would even probably take that. If not a community leader, then at least a community role model, because he's definitely somebody to look up to, man. He's slow spoken, well spoken, and articulate. You know,
And another frequent call-in guest. He's out in Vegas. We got to shout
Yeah,
out.
shout out to Schizo, man. Shout out to
We got
Schizo in
our
the
boy
building, man.
Knowledge. Knowledge always a good guest. These are
always,
gentlemen
always.
that not only take from the communities, they give back. They give back to the community.
Shout out to Rajahi for that too, man.
And anybody out there, our listeners and audience, you want voter registration drives, you want us to come out to the community, we're there.
Yeah, we got to get to the library and get that together too. We got to get up there.
We're starting right after the election cycle's over. This is Street Legal. We're here every Tuesday
Gotta get
night,
out there.
103.9 LI News Radio. This is Bob Macedonio. My firm name, Macedonio and Duncan, 126 Carlton Avenue, Islip Terrace, 582-3232. We handle all your legal matters. Like, I got a pretty good law firm over there.
You got a great law firm. Tone, you want to tell them your Instagram? How to get in contact with you?
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me and giving me the chance.
No doubt,
the
bro.
opportunity to speak. My name, like I said, once again, let me introduce myself, Jose Farina. You can find me at blackgo_Tony_. That's what I have to say. Everybody keep
Welcome
your head
aboard.
up, stay safety, stay positive, think positive, positive things will happen.
You want to stay free? Call BOB.
You want to get free?
Right.
Peace.